everyone, it's Lauren. It's been a little while and I apologize about that, but today I'm going to be bringing you a video about kind of how I got to Japan and how I got to where I am today. Ever since I started video blogging a little bit more this past summer, I've been getting some emails asking me, Lauren, how'd you get to live in Japan? Do you have to know the language? Like a couple questions like that in general, pretty much asking how I got to where I am at the present moment, and I thought I would give a video today and kind of give 3 factors on how I think that I got to where I am today, and that might be able to help you guys on if you guys want to come and live in Japan and have any ideas for that as well. To kind of give a little bit of a background about myself for people who don't know, I am a 22-year-old American girl who moved to Japan this past September in order to get my Master's of Business Administration at a school here in Kyoto, Japan. And I am in an all-English language program, so this program is taught in English. And also, I learned Japanese for about 2.5 years when I was in university. I just graduated university this past May, and I decided to come to graduate school here. Also, I kind of teach part-time while I'm working as well, teach English part-time, and it's not really teaching, it's more like tutoring and kind of just talking with people Japanese people in order to help their English a little bit better, and a little bit of other kind of work-related stuff on the side that my friends kind of, hey, do you want to do this kind of thing. So now I'm going to jump into the 3 factors that I think kind of helped me to get to where I am at the moment, and the very first factor that I will say is networking, connections, friends, and family. I would not be at the place where I am today if I did not have my friends and family's support, as well as being able to network with people and kind of talk with the people about kind of what my passion is, which is Japan and wanting to do business stuff here. I'm a business major, and one of the biggest things that I learned when I was an undergraduate and even now here in graduate school is network, talk to people. You never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who those people know, and you never know what kind of things can come out of that. I would not be in the position that I am today if I had not talked to some of my professors in undergraduate, some of my professors at Kansai Garai when I studied abroad there. I would have not been able to get into this graduate program if it wasn't for the connection that I had to Kansai Garai University. So just do not close any doors, no matter how stupid you kind of think the network is, or the connection that you have, or the friend is. You never know who that person knows, and you never know what is going to be coming out of that. So just talk with people about your passion, what you love. Don't tell them your life story, that's kind of way too much, but just kind of tell them what you're interested in. And there are going to be a lot of failures. I've definitely, in undergraduate, had a lot of people just nod at me and go, oh, okay, you're interested in Japan. Good luck with that. But I also had a lot of people who are very interested in my story and who are very interested in wanting to help me as well. And those are the people who you really want to be your connections and who you really want to help you along. And it's also, you can't just break those connections either. You have to foster them. You have to keep up that network and keep up that relationship with that person, no matter how hard and time consuming it is. That is also something that I have learned as well. So remember, your friends, your family, just people who you talk with at work or at school, anybody can be a possible connection to where you want to get or what you want to do later on. The second factor is learning the language. As I said previously, I learned Japanese at my university in America for 2 years, and then I studied abroad at Kansai Garai for 1 semester last year, and I studied the language again for a semester while I was there. And if I had not learned the language in undergraduate, and if I had not kind of put forth the effort to speak the language and not be afraid to talk in the language, then I would not have gotten as far as I had gotten today. And believe me, I am by no means fluent at all, but I still have a lot of trouble when I'm here in Japan trying to communicate on certain things, but everyday things I could do perfectly fine by myself with 2.5 years of the language and studying abroad 3 times when I was an undergraduate. So the best thing that I can say is get as much exposure to the language as you possibly can. There are so many online communities where you can meet Japanese people and have a language exchange over Skype or even just email or have a pen pal or something like that to boost your language. And even watching Japanese dramas and listening to Japanese music can kind of boost your everyday knowledge of the language, and I think that that has really helped me to where I am right now, because the Japanese people are always so impressed on my language skills, and I have no idea why, because I'm not fluent. I just am not scared to speak in the language, and I'm not scared to communicate with them is the biggest thing, and that's where I've gotten a lot of my other kind of side jobs that I do, or kind of opportunities that might come up, is because some of the Japanese people have been impressed with my Japanese, but that's only because I put forth the effort to speak the language, if you know what I mean. The third and final factor on how I got to where I am today is kind of building on my own strengths that I have and kind of my majors in college, as well as just my unique aspects in general. I know that so many people come here to Japan to teach English, and I really didn't want to come to Japan to teach English as my full-time gig, if you know what I mean. I wanted to come here a different way than being able to teach English. Maybe that was just me being a little bit selfish, but I thought that I had studied business. I had double major in business, and I wanted to do something else besides teaching English. And believe me, I'm not saying that teaching English is a bad thing. It's just not for me. It just really isn't for me. So I decided that I wanted to come to Japan on a different means, either by getting a job or coming to study more here in Japan. And my connection at Kansai Gaidai is how I was able to get into my program here. So this part kind of ties back into the first point that I had made before. So I wanted to come here doing more business kind of stuff, not necessarily teaching English. So I emailed my professor that I had for 2 classes at Kansai Gaidai first semester, and I asked him, hey, are there any other ways that I can get to Japan besides teaching English? Because I know that he came here teaching English initially. A lot of people come here teaching English initially, but I kind of wanted to bypass that a little bit as best as I could. And I wasn't expecting him to come back with anything whatsoever. I thought he was going to say, well, English teaching is probably the best way to get over here, blah, blah, blah. But he surprised me, and he emailed me back and he said, hey, because you're a business major, because I know somebody at this school, why don't you apply to this English language MBA program here in Kyoto, Japan? And I was so surprised that they had something like that. So I would have never known about that program if I didn't know about, if I had never asked this guy. And it was a push from a friend who told me to email this professor. He kind of pushed me to say, hey, email this guy and see if there's anything that he can help you with. People are so willing to help you with stuff if you ask. Just don't be afraid to ask that. And that built upon my strength, which was I was a double business major in college, so that kind of plays back into point 1 and point 3, as well as I had learned the Japanese language as well, and I'd gone to Kansai Gaidai University. Those were all strengths of mine, so I kind of built upon those to get to where I am today. And continuing from here on out, my interest and my strength is I really like the Japanese entertainment industry, whether it be fashion, whether it be music, movies, dramas, whatever. I really like fashion and just Japanese pop culture in general, and I want to do something with that in graduate school because we have a big final project that we have to do where we have to work with the company or help somebody on a kind of project thing, and I kind of want to do that with the entertainment industry in Japan. So it's another thing that I'm going to be building upon my strengths. I'm going to start networking more. I'm going to be asking around some of my professors at my university right now and kind of ask them, what can I do to kind of get to where I want to be? Just talk with people. That's probably the biggest thing that I can say. So yeah, that is all that I have for you today. Those were my 3 factors on how I think that I got here to Japan. If you guys have any specific questions that you want to ask me in general, go ahead and ask in the comment box below, as well as I have an email address if you want to kind of do it anonymously or just with me one-on-one. And I also now have an Instagram and I have a Twitter, so if you guys want to ask me something on Twitter, go ahead to the hashtag AskNihonChic, and I hope to see you guys next video. Bye-bye!